Hello everyone, welcome to this Options Talk 48 between Raghunath and me. What a week it has been. Uh, Going straight to the charts, looking at Nifty, it has broken out. Looking at Bank Nifty, it has broken out. Looking at the Bank Nifty relative strength chart. In fact, I remember last week we were exactly here near this low, and I talked about Bank Nifty being the villain, and it came back with a bang right from Monday morning. In fact, I had talked about SBI also, and SBI led throughout the week, except for the dip in the after the results because of the confusion. But after that, it is Bank Nifty just one way, and now Bank Nifty looks extremely bullish. Of course, if Bank Nifty is bullish, Nifty also has to be bullish because, like I said many times earlier, Nifty cannot move alone without support from Bank Nifty. On the point and figure chart, we are well above the 45-degree trend line from the all-time high, and now we also have a follow-through double top buy. So it's very simple now. As long as Nifty is above 14,880, whatever was the low on Thursday, it is bullish, and we can look for high targets. Maybe I had also talked about all-time high, which is quite close now. In fact, on a weekly basis, this is the highest closing all-time high. It has never closed at 15,175 on a weekly closing. Even when it did that for 430, I think it closed at 15,162 or something like that. So this is the all-time high closing on weekly basis. So as of now, everything looks bullish in terms of the charts of Nifty, Bank Nifty, even on a daily basis, all the charts. But there is a caution. Now, you will laugh at me when I say caution for the simple reason that I am looking at these charts, which are PCR. I'm not saying that Nifty will come down sharply or anything like that. It's just a question of prices have raised up ahead on Friday after the scare on Thursday, which was most probably because of expiry, and it really just tested the trend line on even on a OHLC chart. But what has happened on Friday is the prices have gone up quite sharply, both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty, but the put call ratio has not caught up. That is something which is, I'm not saying it is a bearish sign, but definitely not very bullish as of now. If you see here, the 15,000 put call ratio is 1.7, which is definitely bullish. Nifty is at 15,175, so 15,100 put call ratio is 1.15. I would have been happy, it would have been a bit more. It is bordering on bullish, but 15,200, which is very close to the current price, it is just 0.43. That needs to move higher, which means you need to see put writing in 15,200 strike price of the put and covering of the 15,200 call. Unless that goes up sharply, we can see a small dip or a pause. Now, this is completely against what the charts are saying, but that's how it is. The charts say one thing, the OI says something else. The only possibility which I can see is we just gap up straight away on Monday, and then these call writers have to cover frantically like what happened in 15,000 and 15,100 call on Friday. So that is the only possibility. Otherwise, if given time and if there is no sharp gap up, we might see a consolidation between something like 15,050 and 15,150. That is a possibility. Why I am saying that is a possibility? For some other reason. If you look at the stock which was the Bank Nifty, similar thing in Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is above 34,500, but the 34,000 put call ratio is 1.6, fine, bullish. 34,500 put call ratio is still 0.85, and of course, 35,000 will be bearish. It is 0.23 because Bank Nifty is still much lower than that. So this is also not completely bullish. And the biggest stock of them all, SBI, which has been the leader from Friday, that is above 400 in terms of closing price. But look at the put call ratios. At 395, you have only zero point 0.4. At 400, you have only zero point 0.2. And 405, it is just 0.29, and 410 is just 0.04. These are bearish put call ratios. I know I am sounding completely opposite to what the charts are suggesting, because if you look at the bank SBI chart, this is a 400 call. it is looking quite bullish. Above 13, it can go here at least till 18 or so. But that all depends on how much the put call ratio rises. So maybe we can see SBI going towards 420, but whether it sustains, that completely depends on the call writers. So that is a very big sign of caution for this next week. I'm not saying it is bearish at all. I'm not saying there will be a crash. I'm just saying there is a bullish breakout. We might see consolidation. I have also seen these put call ratios. In fact, I remember exactly last May, this is also May, coincidentally. In the month of May to 2020, Nifty had gone up from, if I remember correctly, something like 8,900 to 9,300 in the last 2 3 days. So there also the put call ratio at 8,900 or 9,000 was just zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.3, and it had gone up sharply because Bank Nifty had, Nifty had gone up by almost 5% in those 3 4 days. So that is possible. I'm not denying that, but you should not be blindly bullish. That is the only caution. If I look at the Nifty call, Bank Nifty call 34,500, which is at the money. This is also definitely bullish, no doubt about it. And this can go towards, if you look at the previous levels, this is a bearish column from the 700. Right now it is 652, so very close to the current price. And then another high here is 1100, which means Bank Nifty near 35,000, 35,500. Who knows? Right now the premium are very high because of the sudden rise on Friday in the last 1 or 1.5 hours. So maybe a cooling off in the options prices is possible. I'm not denying that. So it is all bullish, but you need to be cautious based on these open interest figures. That's all, nothing else. Otherwise, on the basis of a chart, it is entirely bullish. Like I said here, Nifty has broken out finally, and this breakout I had also mentioned last couple of weeks, twice in fact, is coming after a 3 month long consolidation. So this is definitely a very strong breakout, and we should target new highs, maybe even higher than that. But now that the expiry is approaching, we need to be a bit cautious and cannot throw caution to the wind. So that's all I have to say today. So bullish, but with caution based on OI, nothing else. Yeah, thanks, Raghunath. Anything you want to say, or I'll pass it on to you?
Yeah, I mean, we are at a very interesting place again
Yeah,
because all-time high close, and I mean, whenever something closes at all-time high, it usually follows up with more highs,
exactly.
unless there is some cool off after some time.
And another interesting thing is I keep getting all those institution reports about SBI, especially after the results. Every single institution, including FIIs, have upgraded the stock to targets of 500, 600, 700, and whatnot. So
Yeah.
everyone, I mean, unanimously, everyone is bullish on the market now. With SBI at 400 right now, people giving targets of 600. Of course, I'm not saying it is not possible, but of course, those targets are not for expiry naturally. So we are talking about only the next week. So there is some sign of
Yes.
caution which is based on open interest. And of course, if that is covered, then we can have a good run, maybe even till 15,400 by expiry. So it all depends on the call writers whether they cover or not.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Basically, just in next 1 week, be cautious, and in the long term, it still looks very bullish.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, till expiry, in fact. And who
Yeah.
knows, it might go up for expiry also, because
Yeah.
the problem with this is the people are talking about US market is looking weak. Fine, US market is looking weak. It seems SGX also closed some 100 points lower than where it was at Indian close. But
Yeah.
from what I know, I think even in US market, there was a expiry on Friday. And
Okay.
the bullish argument is we also closed at the day low on Thursday expiry. So US market closed near the low on Friday expiry, their expiry. So everything depends on how the world markets open before we open and where SGX is, and whether we are going to forget a follow through straight away or a pullback first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're going to talk about pyramiding based on options selling, right, today?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So over to you then.
Uh, Hello, folks. Today I will talk about pyramiding with options selling. So, in the 46th edition of Options Talk, we talked about pyramiding with options, but that is with buying options. But we got some comments on the comment section of YouTube about how we can do the same with selling options and what are the pros and cons. And there are some other feedback which I'm going to answer in this video. So for those people who are new to this topic, so I suggest that you go back to 46th editions of option stock, of which will the link will be posted in the below the video. So please go to that video before coming to this video if you are new to this particular topic. So I will not go through all the slides of earlier ones, but I'll simply, so this is the basic the flow of pyramiding with long options. Okay, we just identify a trend and we enter long option trade with a 1 hour and stop loss. 1 hour is the risk, right? It could be 300 points, 100 points in Nifty, Bank Nifty. It's totally up to you. And a stop loss should be also something similar on the options. So we start with one quantity, and then we have a target, pyramid target, which is usually equal to whatever risk we are going to take. Like if it's 300 points, then target should also be around the same points. And then if we hit one target and we close this position, and then we add two more, and again if it hits the second target, and we keep continuing till we reach fourth target, and then we close position or we hedge this particular position, right? So now there were these were the comments that we received. So I'll go through some of them and I'll follow it up. So one question was, after you hit the pyramid target, instead of closing the first pyramid, right, if you keep trailing the stop loss at each pyramid target, okay, so you keep trailing the first pyramid and you also do the second pyramid, okay, so you have three positions. So can we do that way? Of course you can do that way, there is no problem, but the issue is then you have multiple stop losses here, because if you go with this method, right, here we are keeping our risk constant, okay, 300 points constant throughout. So as we keep adding pyramids, our stop loss will get closer to our entry price, okay. But if we do the trailing stop loss for each pyramid, then you have multiple stop losses which can be very difficult to track. So it's totally up to you. If you can do, you can do it, and otherwise you can take a clean approach whereby you just close the position when you hit your first pyramid, and you add more quantity at the for the second pyramid, so that it's much cleaner to follow up, and you have only one stop loss in your system in this case. Okay, now after hedging pyramid as spread, how to continue? Drop the hedge next day or pyramid with this spread? So this comes into picture. So this I've shown you when you have hit the fourth pyramid, right? Like in this case, when we hit this fourth pyramid, I gave a choice, right? Three choices. One is you close the position and be done with it, or you can hedge by making this pyramid into a spread. Okay, spread means you short out of the money options. Basically, you can watch this in the previous video that I talked about. Yes, so that is one option. And so someone has asked that what will you do the next day after you hedge? So it's totally up to you again. You can remove the hedge, like when you remove the spread, and then you let it continue if the market keeps going up, or you can just leave it with the spread because you're already sitting on a profit, and you will be, by the time you reach the fourth pyramid, you are in a no loss situation when you make it into a spread. So it's up to you. Again, it's your choice. You can either close the position, you keep the hedge, or you can drop the hedge and let the market continue in your direction if it continues, or it hits your stop loss. So it's totally up to you again. Okay. Now, coming to the main question, that can pyramiding be done by selling options with the trend instead of buying options? Okay, this can be done, and I'm going to compare this particular strategy with buying options and what are the advantages and disadvantages. So I'm going to discuss this theoretically. So for the pyramiding with selling options, pretty much everything is same. Nothing changes. Okay. The only thing that you are changing is that instead of buying options, you're selling options. Okay. So when you identify trend and you sell an options with 1 hour, so you're maintaining the risk as the same. So your stop loss should be 1 hour. Okay. So one quantity and the same steps you follow. Okay. So when you hit your first pyramid target, then you make it into 2 quantity by shorting a at the money option, whether it could be put option, could be call option, depending on which way the market is moving. Okay, so the strategy remains pretty much same, but instead of buying options, you're selling options. Now let's look at what are the uh, advantages and disadvantages. So finally, close position when it hits stop loss or before the market closes. So because we are selling options, we cannot do positional trading in with the selling options because you will have overnight risk, and that I'm going to talk about. So comparison of buying options and selling options for pyramiding strategy. Now the margin requirement. So with buying options, it is low because you have to furnish only the amount of the money that is required to buy the options. But for selling the options, you have to furnish the margin, so that there is no overnight risk in the exchange. So for the bank Nifty options, it's pretty much 2 lakhs the margin for one lot, and for Nifty it's 1.75 lakhs. So as you can imagine, the margin requirement is very high compared to this. This might be maybe around 20,000, 30,000, depending on at which time point you are buying these options. It could be even less. So, so, so keep that in mind. So it's almost 10 times more margin requirement in the case of selling options compared to buying options. Now the profit potential is undefined or unlimited, right? Because on the upside for the pyramiding, it's undefined. It could go up by we don't know. That is why it's undefined or unlimited. It all depends on how high the market can go. For example, the best case scenario was on the Friday. The markets went up crazy, like Bank Nifty went up by 4%. So you never know, right? So in that case, buying options might be much more profitable than selling options because when you sell options, your profit potential is defined or limited to the credit that you receive by selling those options. Okay. So keep that in mind that when you are selling options, your profit potential is defined or limited. Okay. Now, market environment. Now, when you are going to buy options, it is very important that we are in a strong trending market. If the trending is not strong, then we might suffer due to decay, theta decay, right? Or the time value decay. So there we might suffer if there is no trend in the market and market is not moving so much. But if you are doing this with selling options, if the market remains slightly sideways without hitting our stop loss, of course, and if it stays there, okay, you're still in a good position, even if it market doesn't trend. If market trends, it is also good for us, okay, as long as stop loss is not hit. So that is the advantage, main advantage of selling options, is that we can withstand a sideways market compared to buying options, okay. So that is the main advantage with selling options. Now, coming back to buying options, as I've shown you in the last video, in the 46th edition, that with buying options and pyramiding strategy, you can do both intraday as well as positional. It's totally up to you, right? Now, because there your risk is defined, and you don't have any overnight risk of losing a lot of money with this kind of strategy. But when you sell options, there is overnight risk. And imagine that if you have 2 or 3 positions, 3 quantity, then you have that much more higher risk, right? So this is not ideal for positional strategy. You can use only intraday, for only intraday purpose for the selling options. Okay. Now the probability of profit for the buying options is low, right? You know that buying a options by nature it has very low probability, right? Anywhere around 33 to 40% usually. Now when you sell options, in this case if you sell a at the money options, the probability of profit is around anywhere around 60%. Okay, you have 40% for buying options, 60% on selling options, so a 20% higher. So speaking like 50% higher compared to buying options. But in absolute terms, 40% for buying options, 60% for selling options. Probability of profit. Now, risk. Buying options, as I said, it is defined because you're going to lose only the premium that you have spent for buying options, even if something catastrophic happens. But if you were to do this positional with the selling options, you have undefined risk, right? There could be a gap up or gap down in the market, and you could be seeing a huge loss if you are doing selling by this pyramiding strategy on a positional basis. Okay, and there is also another risk of slippages. For example, on 24th April, remember that there was a issue in the Nifty, in the NSE exchange, that the their data feed was gone, and there was some disaster in their data center, and they had to close market from 11 to 3:30, and then they had to open after 3:30. So it was a big mess, and a lot of stop losses were carried through. This I'm not sure, but imagine that if you're sitting on such kind of positions, you could have that kind of risk in the market. So imagine that you could have that kind of risk when you are selling options using pyramiding. So even having a stop loss might not save you sometimes. Sometimes these, brokerages, even after having stop loss, sometimes the stop loss might hit much lower than what you have kept. So you will have that slippage risk as well with brokerages. So keep that in mind when you're doing these with selling options, even with intraday. So let's have a look how it an example how it looks if you compare with a buy option. Just intraday will look, okay. So let's say we do the same strategy, okay, at on 27th April, which exactly we did on 46th edition of pyramiding options. So on the right, on the left side tab, we are going to do buy options. On the right side, we do sell options. Okay. So here we buy a 50 delta option close to 50 delta. Okay. We add position. And the same way, sorry, this has to be Bank Nifty. So here we will sell options 50 delta. Okay, this is good. I think pretty much good. Both are same strike actually. So let's say we got a trend here of a long position, right? I mean, we are bullish in this case. So if the trend is bullish, then we have to sell options, sell put options. And if the trend is bearish, then we have to sell call options. And for the buy options, if you are bullish, obviously we buy call options. And if you are bearish, obviously buy put options, right? All right. So here is this, and then here we sell options. Same strike, but one is call option and one is the put option. And then now we move up by 30. So every 300 points, we are going to move our pyramid, right? 300 target. So 245 to 545. Anything above, we move to second target, right? And now coming back here, we do the same. 30 minutes. Okay. So nothing happened. So I'm just going to pass, I mean, just go forward because I know the exact time when we are going to do that adjustment. It's around 12, I think. I'll go to till, yeah, somewhere till then the time. So you have to keep watching that this has to go up to 32,500, some 500 plus. All right, so one more. Now you will see, I mean, you will see the difference of the what will happen with a long option and what will happen with a sell option. And there is a clear difference. And for somebody who's very cautious that that market might not trend a lot, then you might prefer going with selling options, and I will tell you why. So still it has not hit our target of 524 and above, so we are still waiting on that. Okay, we'll do one more. All right, so now it is almost above 300 points, right? 524 and above. So at this point of time in this one, we are going to cover, or this it hit our first pyramid target, right? So we are going to enter this 533.7, and then we enter our next 50 delta option. And the same way here also we'll cover this 300.5. So we get option chain. So on the left side is the buy option, on the right side is the sell option. So I just want to tell that. So we have to buy 50 delta call option, right? Yeah, something like this. 32,500. Okay. Sorry, it has to be 2 lots. So here 2 lots, similarly 50 delta. Yes, this one. We sell 2 lots. Now, if you look at the PNLs, the PNL of this one is lower than the sold option. That is because if you remember that in the pyramiding video, that we said that we have to do this strategy when the gamma is very high, and the gamma is high when we are close to expiry. So we have to do this strategy when we are in the last week of expiry. So we choose 30. Yeah, we choose this one. Sorry, we choose this one. Two options. Okay. All right. So this is how it is looking now. So now again we proceed forward by 30 minutes. So from whenever we reach 535 plus 300, so 835, then we have to do the adjustment, right? The second pyramid. Okay. And I'll also talk about some more advantages, like why there could be some differences between the long options and short options. Let me finish these simulations and then I'll talk. Okay, still it has not hit our target. Okay. So the things that are working in favor of short options are theta, and even gamma is working in favor of short options. And in the favor of long options, gamma is in favor, but theta is not in favor. Okay. So just one more. And then we'll compare like why there is the difference. Okay. 320. And also one more Greeks that I think which is in favor of short options is the Vega. Okay, Vega in the sense like as we get close to expiry, as if the volatility drops, then that is in favor of short options. But if it volatility increases, then for the long option that is in favor. Okay, so now we are at 320, which is like close to market time, which is when we have to close our short options pyramid, right? And this is intraday, so we have to close this intraday. Now, if you look at the PNL, it's around 10,815 in this case, and here it's 8,753, and the difference is because of the theta depreciation. We are getting the advantage of theta depreciation, and as well as the directional difference, also the directional move. So we are getting the advantage of delta, we are getting the advantage of theta, we are also getting the advantage of gamma. Okay, but in the case of the long positions, we are not getting the advantage of theta. We are getting advantage of only the delta and gamma. Okay, so keep those in mind as to why the difference is there. Now imagine that if the market were sideways here, okay, if the market were sideways here, then you will get more benefit from this from selling the options with this pyramid strategy, not with the buying pyramid strategy. See here in the buying pyramid strategy, you would have suffered if the market has stayed in this at the same position, right? Right? You would been, you would get around 7,000 or something like profit here on this particular day, and on expiry it would be even much less. You could be in loss. But in the case of selling options, you might be in profit if nothing happens in the market and if it doesn't hit our stop loss. So that is the advantage of selling options. So these are the main advantages and disadvantages. The main advantage of selling options is if it is sideways and trending, slightly trending, then you are fine with this. But with buying options, if it is strongly trending in one direction, then that is good for you. So these are the differences that you have to keep in mind when you want to go with a pyramiding strategy, whether you want to do buying options or selling options. The main difference is that selling options, the margin requirement is very high, almost 10 times more margin requirement or capital requirement compared to buying options. And regarding one more feedback that we received is that what is the ideal instrument to find trend? Is it options charts or the underlying charts? Like if I want to find a trend, which kind of charts one should use? Like option charts or underlying charts? Underlying charts mean the stock charts or the index charts. So I would say you can use any one of them, whatever you are comfortable with. And AP might can tell more about it maybe because AP works on option charts a lot. Maybe you can give some inputs on this. AP?
Yeah.
What do you think? Option charts are good, underlying charts are good. For let's say you
I will
want to
always go by
find,
option charts.
you will go by option charts.
Yeah, I'm always.
Always, okay. So you got the answer here that AP's preference is option charts here because I think the trend is much more clear in option charts, right? Compared to
Yes, absolutely.
what you see in
And something which I have seen over the years, just sorry to disturb you.
yeah,
I have seen over the years, maybe once you finish, I'll show you my chart once again.
yeah,
There
yeah.
are levels created by options which are important at a later date. I mean, sometimes maybe one option of May might have created a level in the month of April, and of course maybe Nifty or Bank Nifty will be at a much higher level after that, but then this level again comes into the picture this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can show. You can also maybe talk about total open interest as well.
Total open interest, I'm afraid we
If you want.
won't be able to talk.
Okay.
That's a vast topic in itself.
Yeah.
I'll just show one chart, 1 minute. Let me plot
Yes.
it. In fact, that is something I forgot to mention earlier.
You have to
Let me
take over.
just plot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 15,000 monthly call. See what happened was last week when Nifty went to I think 15,170 or something, this made a high of 265 to 70. Now this time Nifty has gone slightly higher, but this has stopped as of now exactly at that level. So this for me is a resistance. I'm not saying it won't cross, it can cross, but the same level was there earlier also. Here if you see this level on 29th April, that time Nifty was much lower, but still it had made a similar level. So these levels definitely come into the picture now. I mean going forward, for example, on 29th April Nifty was much lower. I think it was 14,900 or so. Something like maybe 15,000. That time this 15,000 call was 250, 260. Then when Nifty went to 15,170, this call was also at the same level. Now that Nifty is at 15,200, this call is at the same level. And here you'll see last time when Nifty reacted from 15,170 all the way down to almost 880, this resistance came into picture. So you cannot ignore these levels on option chart. That is what I wanted to show.
Okay, so for example, in this case, one can assume that let's say on Monday, let's say I want to do pyramiding because I see everything is bullish.
Yeah.
Then I see this option chart and then I see that, okay, I mean, it has some resistance there. So I need to be cautious
Yeah.
unless there is a
So if
strong
it is
trend.
not crossing, 270, in fact, there is another way I look at it. What it
Okay,
also means is, since this 270 resistance is quite big over here, and if it acts again, this can also give me a highest level which can Nifty go to by expiry. This is 15,000 call, so 270. That means 15,000 plus 270 is 15,270 by expiry. If this is not crossed, so I automatically get a highest level by expiry till Thursday 3:30 p.m. 15,270. That is how it works out.
okay. So in a way, options will tell you whether you need to be cautious before taking trade, and then if the signal is become strong from here, then obviously
Yeah,
you can go and do the pyramiding.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Okay, folks, that is all from us. So please like our videos because our ratio from the views to likes is low, and it will help us to to make more content. If you know that there is a high ratio of these likes on our videos, so please like and subscribe to our videos so that we are also encouraged to do more videos.
yeah. In fact, a lot of people keep telling me on WhatsApp, on Twitter, saying we are looking forward to the video. Has it been recorded? Has it been released? But then once I see the likes, it is quite less. So if people are really looking forward to it, it takes hardly any effort to just click on the like button, and that also will help us do more, encourage us to do more, and it will also spread the word. There are YouTube algorithms by which there is some relay method, and more people will come to know about this video.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you
thank you,
for
guys.
this week. Bye bye.